everyone, and welcome to a new series I decided to start called Horror Battles. In this series, we'll be taking two or more horror monsters and pitting them against each other in a battle to the death. Now, as far as these videos go, first I'll introduce the combatants with a brief overview of their powers and abilities. For this section, I'll look at multiple forms of media, and if something translates their abilities into what I believe is a logical and understandable way, they'll get that ability. Remember, this is all in fun, and we're trying to just make fights fair and more entertaining. After that, I'll give the scenario in which the battle will take place. Finally, I'll give two sets of results. The results of the votes from all of you, and the way I think the battle would end. Also, stay through the outro to see a teaser for the next horror battle. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. In today's episode, we're going to be pitting one of horror's classic slashers, the undead revenant juggernaut, Jason Voorhees, against the brutal, adaptable, and regenerating relative newcomer to the horror genre, the Creeper. First up, Jason Voorhees. Jason is a classic powerhouse that can never truly die. His human form was killed in Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and he was resurrected by a bolt of lightning in Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. Since then, it has been shown that while his body can be destroyed with extreme efforts, he can never die. He has literally been dragged to hell, blown to pieces, and even burned to cinders while re-entering the Earth's atmosphere in Jason X. But he can always regenerate, return from hell, or even pass on his consciousness from one person to another. Beyond that, Jason has superhuman strength and durability, as well as the ability to essentially ignore all forms of pain. Jason can easily lift a full-grown man into the air with one hand, crush a skull with one hand, punch a person's head clean off with a single punch, and forcibly walk through solid walls. He can take tons of damage that would kill ordinary humans and even other superhuman beings. He has taken machetes to the head, hails of gunfire, hydrogen canisters hitting him dead in the chest, being set on fire, hit by vehicles, and submerged in toxic waste. All of these things have only ever served to delay him. Jason also has the ability to slowly regenerate body parts over time. For as brutal and powerful of an opponent as Jason is also extremely stealthy. He is able to stalk entire groups of individuals at a time and set traps to capture and kill them one by one without alerting the others. He is a deadly opponent, and any weapon in his hand becomes far more powerful and dangerous. Stealthy, strong, and durable, Jason Voorhees is a powerhouse that few horror monsters will be able to contend with. Now, we come to the Creeper. The Creeper's origins are shrouded in mystery, though it is known that it has been around since at least the time of the Aztecs. It awakens every 23 years to hunt and devour humans. But not just any humans. The creature seems to target specific humans to get one or more body parts from them, and then replace his parts with the ones he chooses. Thus far, he has been unkillable in his movies and comics. He has superhuman strength enough to lift full-grown humans, sever limbs with attacks, and with great effort has been shown to topple a bus full of people and tear the roof off a metal truck. He is also extremely durable. He has been impaled, taking Gatling gunfire with a smile, and has even been decapitated. His superhuman senses allow him to follow scents at great distances, and even gain memories from his severed limbs that it experienced while away from him. The Creeper has hyper-regeneration so long as it has human flesh to feed on or incorporate into its form. Once, it even took a human head from one of its victims after it was decapitated and absorbed and transformed it into his own head. The Creeper can also fly with the assistance of two massive wings, and can even carry an adult human while in flight. His flight speed is fast enough to keep up with a pickup truck going close to 90 miles per hour. As formidable as he is, the Creeper also carries with him a battle axe and daggers and throwing stars made from the bones of his victims. The daggers and throwing stars can also return to him via a form of telekinesis. Fast, strong, and with a versatile set of abilities, the Creeper may be new to the horror scene, but he's strong enough to keep up with the strongest of horror monsters. Now that we have a general idea of the powers and abilities of our combatants, let's take a look at the scenario. After going into its 23-year slumber, the Creeper was captured by Florida locals and was transported to Camp Crystal Lake in New Jersey after looking for other places rumored to be cursed with monsters. The idea was that quarantining two monsters together might result in them killing each other. They dropped the body of the Creeper off at the camp inside one of the broken down counselor buildings, then sped off. 23 years later, the Creeper awakens to find itself in this strange new location and finds a group of counselors scrambling to escape the area's local revenant, Jason Voorhees. They came across the Creeper thinking that it might be able to protect them from Jason. The Creeper, famished after its 23 years of hibernation, begins to slaughter them. Before he can finish the job, Jason smashes through the door and immediately begins to attack this newest intruder. The two clash for dominance to claim Crystal Lake as their territory and the people inside it as their victims. Which one of these brutal movie monsters wins the fight? Let's look at the votes. This first horror battle actually got 100 votes across multiple platforms such as Twitter, the Horror Amino, the Furry Amino, and the Death Battle Reboot Amino. Not bad at all for a first episode. And with 84% of the total votes, Jason Voorhees wins this one by a landslide. The Creeper is an extremely brutal and powerful killer, but his strength and durability are closely matched by Jason. The Creeper's ability to fly isn't much of an advantage in this fight since he can only use it to get away. If he tried to grapple Jason and bring him into the air, he wouldn't get very far before Jason found a way to punish him for getting so close. And while both combatants have healing factors, the Creeper's is dependent on having flesh and body parts to make it work. He also has to have the time to regenerate, which Jason wouldn't give him. Jason, however, has two large advantages in this fight. First, he might acknowledge damage, but he doesn't feel pain, and isn't affected by it, unlike the Creeper. Second, Jason simply can't die. Stopped and delayed? Sure, but die? No. The Creeper might be able to regenerate, but Jason doesn't need to. He just needs to survive the fight. So even if the Creeper regenerates some, he wouldn't be able to out-damage Jason. Both are melee specialists. Jason has simply proved to be slightly stronger overall. One other X factor in this fight could be that the Creeper does enough damage to Jason to force Jason to move bodies. And the Creeper's body is the closest and strongest around. It may even be strong enough with its healing ability for Jason to keep permanently without burning it out. In the end, I have to agree with you all that Jason would be able to take this one, but I believe it would be a much closer fight than the votes suggested it would be. But that's going to do it for this week's horror battle. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Do you agree with the results? Let me know down below in the comments. Remember to stay tuned after the outro for a sneak peek at next week's battle. I hope you all have a great day, and as always, stay positive.